When we came here in '43, we had water all over the valley. Lots of water out there. We had ponds, we had fishing in all the ponds. All those springs were alive. Now it's all dried up.
Pre-DWP days, much of the valley floor had very shallow groundwater. And those areas of shallow groundwater, many of them sustained meadows. It's all dried up and blown away. I'm standing next to monitoring site TS1. Back in 1987, it was a meadow. It was largely grass. There was native bunch grasses that covered the area. We know that the grass rooting zone goes down about 8 feet to perhaps 2 meters. They drew it down so deep that in fact the test wells went dry. It was down at 20, almost 30 feet in some areas. So by the early 2000s, the grass was just about dead. There's a whole lot of these clumps of dead Sacaton. When you kill the vegetation, there's very little to hold the soil in place, and there starts to be more blowing dust from the well-field areas. You can see how much wind erosion has occurred here. These are all roots, and they grew underground. The wind has simply blown off a good centimeter or two of dirt from on top of them. In not much longer, this whole clump will blow away, and then it'll be working on the roots here that will be exposed. It happens very quickly because there's a lot of wind and it's very dry. And these meadow soils have a lot of very fine-grained organic material, and it blows very easily.
When I grew up, the reservation was greener. There was more water. There were definitely more locations that had trees and large brush, large bushes, and they're definitely not there anymore. Generally, Big Pine has changed as far as greenery, but there are definitely some places that have changed that don't deserve the word general, specifically the Bartel Parcel. That area used to be incredibly green, trees and grass. It was just beautiful. I mean, there was a lot of water there. My grandmother lived at the corner of Bartel and Crater, and I would walk to school from her house through the Bartel Parcel. The water was coming under a culvert under the highway onto the parcel. When the city of Los Angeles was asked by Caltrans if they wanted to replace the culvert under the highway, the city of Los Angeles took corrective action and said no. Since there was no longer a culvert under the highway, the water no longer went that direction. The water instead went around the parcel, saving Los Angeles, I'm sure, seepage, but killing ultimately that entire parcel and killing life that was sustained on the reservation from that parcel's water source. Once the dust started lofting off the parcel, there were numerous complaints from residents, but also people driving through the town on the highway, dust events affecting that traffic also. And so once Los Angeles was told to fix their dust problem by Great Basin Air Pollution Control District, they took the stance of basically grading the area, removing a bunch of dirt, and then spraying it with some type of chemical agent. In my lifetime, it's just not long enough to see that type of environmental change. Definitely not naturally. It's very infuriating, and it's disheartening, and it's upsetting. I would want DWP, Mayor Garcetti, anybody to understand and know that kind of sentimental value and that sentimental connection that you build to the world around you when you run and play outside.